I'm gonna set a timer too. Thanks, Barb. Thanks, everybody. My name's Amanda. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Amanda.
I was introduced to AA when I was the youngest person at my treatment center. There were a lot of adults, and I was a young teenager. It was really necessary for me to go to treatment at that time for my parents. I was a hellion. I was able to get about a year of sobriety in AA. I really enjoyed it. I really loved these principles. I loved the book. I loved the spirituality of the program. And it really, I got in touch with a part of myself that I didn't know that I really loved and that I had, you know. But I ended up using and drinking, and I didn't get sober again until I was about 28 years old. That's when I met Steve, actually. I got sober in Tacoma, and one of Steve's good friends, Romina, became my sponsor. And I really loved AA again. It was like I found meaning and usefulness in my life again, and I was driven to have success. You know, I'd been a high school dropout. It was really difficult for me to keep a job, get a job, keep a job. It was really difficult for me to be a useful member of society. And I just wondered, why do I have so much trouble when everybody else has it so good? But man, alcohol was really getting in my way. And it was really, really frustrating for me because I wanted to accomplish things, but I could not ever stop drinking. I didn't really try to stop drinking back then, though. It was when I was getting close to other people and they would see how I used and how I drank that's when I would really start questioning it. I was always the most wasted one at the parties. You know, I was the one stumbling home, locking myself out, waking up just bruised, having fallen down. I mean, I'm surprised I didn't break more bones. I was just a dangerous person. I mean, getting behind the wheel all the time is just really kind of careless. But I couldn't stop drinking, and I would really try. I mean, I was in my early 20s and really trying to get those 3 days. I always felt like if I could just get to the third day sober, that I'd be okay, that I was in control. I needed those 3 days to eat something, you know, clean my apartment, maybe try to pay some bills. And yeah, when Romina picked me up when I was 28 years old, man, I didn't know a lick. And I remember going to the community college, getting my GED, and then getting accepted into UW, and calling Romina on my first day, that first week, every day, just going, they're going to find out about me, you know? And she walked me through so much. She taught me how to clean my house. She taught me how to show up. First time I was 15 minutes late, and she shut the door on me. She's like, what are you doing? You're 15 minutes late. That time has sailed. Come back when you're on time. And yeah, just so pivotal. AA in Tacoma is beautiful and strong, and what a great group. And partly because I'm impartial, because when we're all dying together, when we've all or actually been saved, you know, when we're all drowning and we get picked up, and it talks in the book about that. It's like there's a camaraderie and a gel. So it's like when I think of Tacoma AA, it's just like, oh, you know. But I'm finding that in Seattle today. I got almost 14 years of sobriety. Yeah, unfortunately though, it was like, I got the college education. I started a business, successful business. I had a baby. Well, I got pregnant, got married, had a baby. That's how it went. And beautiful daughter. And what was really important to me was catching up and looking really successful on the outside. And it just became so important that the last 5 years of my sobriety, and trust me, when I was in AA, I loved it. I started a meeting. I sponsored like 5 different women. I was strong. It was like I was anchored in. And but then it was like, how the book talks about the objective. Like when we have these limited objectives, but when in the 6 and 7, it's like our objective needs to be the perfection which is of God, and it's like, remember what I was telling you, like there's something in this program I really love. It's that spirit. It's that relationship with a power greater than myself that is magic for me. I really appreciate and love that relationship. But what was happening the last 5 years of my sobriety before is that I was putting my limited objectives before anything else. And if my marriage was just okay, if my business was just as how I wanted it to be, if only I could be like the other families in the elementary school, But it was like that became so important that and I stopped going to meetings. I stopped sponsoring people. I moved up to Seattle. I was away from my group in Tacoma. I didn't listen to Romina when she said do 90 and 90. It was like, she doesn't know anything anymore, right? What happened? And I got a divorce, and thank God, got a divorce. And then I started dating. I went on a date, and he bought me a drink, and it was a Greyhound. And I took a sip thinking I could spit it back into the drink, but I drank the sip, and it was a lot of relief, because living on like self-will and my own resources, it was incredibly stressful. It was the disease of alcoholism without alcohol, and it's, for me, it's just gut-wrenching and stressful. And I drank, and I was back in that same place where I couldn't stop, and basically I just couldn't even scrape myself out of bed. I mean, I got out of bed to go to the liquor store, and man, I was hiding to go to the liquor store and the discount store in Ballard, because they do have inexpensive alcohol. So I'd go there, pack up my car with which as much as I could, and then I would stash it all in my closet, and just hide in my bed and hide in my room and drink. And then I would put all the empties underneath my bed, and the clinking, clink, 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 till it's like covered under the bed. And this woman, Julie T, who is my sponsor today, Romina and I are still very close. But Julie, when I had first moved to Seattle, I did try to connect. I met her at the Sunday night speakers meeting. She was at the front door, and she greeted me, gave me her number, invited me to her house, invited me over for dinner, had her kids watch my kids so I could go to meetings. And she was lovely, very helpful to me. And so when I finally got the broom handle and got out all those alcohol bottles out from under the bed, and my face was just like 10 times bigger, so it was like so puffy. I knew who to call. I had Julie's number. She was just a stone's throw away from me, and that's what Alcoholics Anonymous is. And that to me, it's like living, breathing spirituality. It's like that's the principles of AA, and that's the spiritual lines that I want to grow along. I have an interesting story now. I had some time in the program. Where am I now? How can I accept where I am? It's people like Barbara. It's meetings like Empire Way that are okay, yeah, it's not about me. It's not about my ego. It's not about having this or anything like that. This is, I have to really get to a place. I surrender my objectives. Okay. A friend among friends, a worker among workers, a parent among parents, and that's it. I have to sacrifice my objectives. I'm a Virgo. I am a planner. The business I had was a planning business. I strategize. I will put 10 years up on the wall. But that's the kind of thing that I have to let go of and just totally surrender that and go, okay, well, God, what's my 24 hours? What does that 24 hours look like? And that's it. It's like, okay, that's what the program is, and that's what I got away from. So hopefully my story can help anyone who's brand new, or even if somebody has some time to just try to get back to that one day at a time, and be super grateful for people in the program who are available. So thanks for my sobriety.